Welcome to Hub's Huddle, man. Today is Saturday, September 29th, 2018. Thank you guys for joining me on this glorious Saturday afternoon. Got my week 4 football picks for y'all today. Just some latest news on the NFL. Eric Reed was signed with the Panthers on Thursday. It's a good move for him, good move for them. Strictly a football move. People are already talking about whether he's going to stand, whether he's going to take a knee during the national anthem. People, let it go. Really. Let that man go out there and go play. If he decides to take a knee, he decides to stand, if he decides to run a lap during the national anthem, just calm down, man. It's freedom of speech, people. Now, I'm not going to get into all of that right now. I just want to make my picks and be done. So, that's all I really want to say on that topic. I'll save that discussion for another podcast down the road if I decide to get into all of that. Also, Tony Romo, he said that he's healthy enough to return to make a comeback. Already I've seen some Cowboys fans talking about, they want to have, Tony Romo back instead of Dak Prescott right about now. Let me just calm things down right now. Tony Romo ain't coming back. That money he making at CBS, he got a good cake job, sitting up in the booth, talking football on Sundays. That dude is not stepping down. I understand guys, athletes, they get the itch to return, but just looking at, all like the pros and cons and match it up, Tony Romo's not coming back. And for you Cowboys fans, just stick it out with Dak Prescott. I feel as though, you give Zeke 25 to 30 carries, the Cowboys will be fine. Also, a new coach wouldn't help. And also, if you tell your owner just to go sit down, it'd be all right, too. So, it's other issues in Dallas outside of Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is not the issue in Dallas. Moving on, man, to my week 4 picks, man. I am 23 and 1 on the season. Rough week last week. I need to rebound, to get me, above 500 right about now. So starting out, we got the Philadelphia Eagles. We traveling to Tennessee to take on the Titans. And this one I think is going to be a good game. Defensively for the Titans is something to watch out for. These guys, they're still learning Dean Pease system. I feel as though this defense is pretty okay. On the flip side, you got Carson Wentz's second game with the Eagles. I know Alshon Jeffrey was clear for contact late this week. I'm not sure if he's going to be playing on Sunday. So we'll see what that's going to be about. As far as the game, I think it's going to be close. Maybe more like a 7-point game. I like Philly in this one, 24-17. I wouldn't be surprised if the Titans won, but I got to keep rolling with Philly. I feel as though, wins the second game, he's going to look more comfortable back there, throwing the ball and doing what he does. I know he took a couple of hits last week, which is, something that you really don't want your quarterback to take, but, I feel as though, Philadelphia's going to be enough, on defensive, to keep track of Marcus Mariota in that game. So I'm thinking 24-17 Eagles. Next up, you got the Bills taking on the Packers. And this one's close, man. The Bills coming off a big game last week. They beat Minnesota. They basically handed it to Minnesota last week in Minnesota. The Packers are coming in. They're playing at home. Their defense is still shaky. I feel as though, the Bills are going to keep up with the Packers. But I don't think they're going to be enough for them to win. I'm feeling like a 27-20 game for the Packers. Aaron Rodgers still banged up, playing on that sprained knee. Let's see how, if he can remain, doing things, even though he's not 100%, how that'll work out for the Packers. But I think sooner or later, if that injury don't start, getting better for him, it's going to end up catching up with him at the end. The Bills do have a solid defense. I'm not sure if McCoy's going to play tomorrow on the offensive side of the ball. I know he's listed as questionable. That'll be something to see. Josh Allen, he had a nice coming out party last week, man. So I look for more of the same out of him to, fully expose this Packers defense. This is like the Achilles heel of the Green Bay Packers is their defense. So that's why I figure it's going to be close, like a 27-20 game for the Packers. Next up, you got the Detroit Lions. I'll be going to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. Now, last week, I told you guys about the Jags and the Titans, and I said I wouldn't be surprised if the Titans won. And even though I picked the Jags last week, but I told you guys that, any team that comes off beating the Patriots or like an emotional win, they normally fall flat like the following week. And that's what we saw last week with the Jags. I think it's going to be more the same in this one. I think the Lions are going to be flat in this one. I think the Cowboys are going to get the win. I think this is the week that we're going to see Zeke Elliott be Zeke and get 25 to 30 carries in the game. They need to do this to open up the game for Dak Prescott. So I'm looking at the Cowboys 3-point game, man, 23-20. Next up, you got the Buccaneers and going to Chicago, take on the Bears. This was I like the Bucks, and I like their offense. What they bring to the table. I like Deshaun Jackson and Evans, and also like Godwin. Man, he's pretty good. And Fitzpatrick, he came along. Last on Monday night, he struggled in the beginning through the interceptions. He got him out the system. They ended up winning. They almost won that game. They could have come back and and won that. But the Bears, on the other hand, man, Soldier Field defense, man. Like I said, Khalil Mack got them boys playing on another level, and I think the offense is feeding off the defense. I think Mitchell Trubisky plays more comfortable at home than he did on the road last week in Arizona. I think the running backs are going to get off a little bit on tomorrow. So I'm liking the Bears in this one, 20-17. Next up, you got the Jets going to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. Jaguars are like a 3-game homestand. So this one, you know what? The Jets coming in, they got issues on their end, head coaching wise and everything. Todd Bowles, this might be his last year. Sam Darnold, he played well in the first week after throwing that pick six in the beginning of the game, but then, these past couple weeks, it really hasn't been, that much great. The Jaguars, on the other hand, they're going to come in hungry because they had a bad loss last week against the Titans, even though it wasn't like a big points, but it was just like the way the game was going. Offensively, none of the teams can get on anything. I think the Jags defense show up here. Leonard Fournette, I believe he'll be playing tomorrow, so they'll have him back, and I think they're going to establish the run against the Jets. I like the Jaguars 27-16. Next up is Dolphins at the Patriots. Dolphins rolling in, man, 3-0. Patriots, of course, is 1-2. This one right here, you see, I'm a Patriots fan, and I'm like I said, I don't try to be biased, but it's like the trend here, like I'm seeing, and just watching that game last week against the Lions, and then watching the week before against the Jaguars, and some of the game, like the second half of the Texans game, it showed really where the problem was with the Patriots. Everybody's banging on the defense. It's not necessarily the defensive fault. Defense, see the way they're constructed, their defense is, basically they're built to play with a lead off their offense. Offense supposed to come out, put up the points. Defense supposed to maintain the whole game. When the defense is put on the ropes to being able to, try to shut down an opposing offense, this is where the problems start coming for the defense. Offensively, the past couple of weeks, and even the second half of that Texans game, none of these receivers could really get open, to open up the field, for anybody else. Rob Gronkowski, sees double to triple teams, and then you got the guys like Chris Hogan and Philip Dorsett and Cordero Patterson. These guys cannot get open to save a life. Last week we seen it, in prime time. It was like, okay, Gronk doubled, and then these guys can get open. Now, so you're basically your leading receiver was your running back, which is bad. I think in this game tomorrow, the Dolphins are coming in hot. Tannehill's playing pretty well this season. Defense is pretty okay. The receiving core is all right. Danny Amendola's coming back to Foxborough. It's going to be a big story. One of the big stories. But I think this Patriots team will be different tomorrow. I believe this is more like the on the Cincinnati game from a few years ago. When they lost to the Chiefs real bad, and basically like everything was on to Cincinnati, and they came out and they just put a beat down on the Bengals, and it was more like a message to the rest of the league, like we're not done. And there's a lot of these reports are coming out now saying the Patriots are done as NFL caught up with the Patriots. I believe this is their on the Cincinnati game tomorrow. It's on to Miami. I think Josh Gordon. Hopefully this guy plays tomorrow. If he does, then it makes my pick even more solid than what it is, because I feel as though, the Patriots offense, they need somebody out there that can get open. If the defense can focus on two guys instead of one, I think this opens up the offense for a lot of things to happen. I'm not saying Josh Gordon is going to have a 10 reception, 212 yard game. No. All I'm saying is that they need another guy who can get open and free up Rob Gronkowski from like the double team. Something to make the defense think like, okay, If we double Gronk, then okay, we got this guy open over here. We got to do something about it. So we can't really double Gronk here. We got to, balance out our defense a little bit. This will open up the field for a lot of these guys. I like the Patriots tomorrow, man. 38-17. Next up, Texans at the Colts. Now this one, I don't know what's going on with Deshaun Watson. Seems like he's having like a sophomore slump. The kid's pretty good, man, but it just seemed like, this year is like, he's something that, it fell off a little bit. Texans defense ain't what it used to be. Like, I don't think teams are fearing like J.J. Watt and Clowney and these guys anymore. The Colts, on the other hand, they're coming off a tough loss in Philadelphia, a game where I feel like they should have won. I feel like that 3rd and 3 towards the end of the game basically like told the game when you decided to pass it. You should have ran it there. You're basically in the red zone, man. In that situation when you have to play all 4 downs, and it's a 4 down situation, you have to run the ball on that 3rd and 3 to try to pick up the first down. Then you pass on the 4th down. When they threw it on that 3rd down, then try to run a play action pass, Eagles defense sniffed that out, and basically that was it. So, far as, tomorrow's game, I like the Colts tomorrow, 24-21. Also, another thing that I noticed in that game, towards the end against the Eagles, they bring in Jacoby Brissett, and it made me think about one thing. Andrew Luck is not, 100%. That shoulder is not 100%. They brung in Jacoby Brissett to try to throw like the Hail Mary pass, towards the end of the game, and that's like something your star quarterback takes. That bomb down the field, and it seemed like I don't think he has enough strength in his arm right now to really rely on something like that. So that made me believe like maybe he's not really 100%, but. I like the Colts tomorrow, 24-21. Next up, got the Bengals and the Falcons here. And this is going to be a good game. I feel like, the Bengals are coming in. The Falcons, they're coming off a tough loss. So, the Bengals here, Andy Dalton, like I said, well, it's like Matt Ryan versus Matt Ryan in this one. Like I said, I don't consider neither one of these guys a elite quarterback, even though Matt Ryan's getting paid like one. But Dalton does have a couple weapons. AJ Green over there, and the Falcons with Matt Ryan. I believe he probably was listening to my podcast or something, because these past couple weeks since that Philly game, man, he has been sharing the ball with other guys. Like last week, Calvin Ridley, man, he went off, and I was so mad that I had him on my bench for fantasy, because I was sitting there, I was like, man, he's not gonna throw this guy the ball like that. It's all Julio. But I think the Falcons, man, they bounce back in this one. I'll give them a 27-24 game. Next up, divisional game, Seahawks versus the Cardinals in Arizona. This one, I think, is going to be based on the defense. I don't think the offenses for both of these teams are really good. So I think it's going to be like a 17-14 game. I'm going to give it to the Seahawks based off of, they got the better quarterback at the end of the day, even though it's not going to be an offensive game. I think Russell Wilson is not going to make, the key mistake in the game that the Cardinals will have. So I'm going to go 17-14 Seahawks. Next up is the Browns at the Raiders. And the Browns, they got their first win of the season last week. And they're coming in, man. They're coming in pretty hot. I know it's only one win, but, the way the team responded to Baker Mayfield, who will be starting tomorrow, they play a little bit different with Baker out there. The defense still has been good since week 1. They've been playing crazy. Raiders, on the other hand, John Gruden's looking for his first win in Oakland, and I don't think they get it here. I think they're going to drop the 0-4. I like the Browns tomorrow. I like the Browns 24-20. I think the defense is going to tell the tale of the game. I think Baker Mayfield is going to have a pretty solid game, and look for them to run the ball with Carlos Hyde. The Raiders, on the other hand, man, I don't know. Like I said, Gruden's underrated to me. I feel like they brought him in to try to, basically some star power before they move into like Vegas. So I don't know what's going on over there. Next up, we got the 49ers against the Chargers, which should have been a great game, man. But everybody knows, Jimmy Garoppolo's out for the year. He tore his ACL last week against the Chiefs. I think that's going to be the key here, man. I know their backup is pretty okay, but, I mean, going against, the Chargers, they have a good defense. You got Phillip Rivers and his weapons. Man, they're going to overwhelm San Fran. They're playing in L.A. I like the Chargers, man, 30-13 over the 49ers. Next up is the Saints and the Giants over in New York. Well, New Jersey rather. But this one I think it's gonna be a close game. I can see the Giants sneaking this one out. I can see the Giants winning this game, honestly. But I'm going to roll with the Saints. Drew Brees, Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas becoming one of the best wide receivers in the league right now. Alvin Kamara is another weapon. But on the flip side, you have Odell Beckham, Shepard, and you got Barkley. These guys, man, they're pretty good. They're good. But I think the Saints. It's gonna be a close game, but I don't think Eli's gonna be able to keep up with Drew Brees in this one. I like the Saints, man. 30-24. Next up is the Ravens at the Steelers. The black and blue division, Sunday Night Football. It doesn't get any better than that, man. Is this gonna be something like something that's gonna be good for the rivalry? Still no Le'Veon Bell. They're still looking to trade this guy. I like the Ravens in this one, honestly. I think the Steelers, man, they still have issues that they got to iron out, man. And I think, if they get another win here, it's going to start coming together for them. But I think, the Ravens are a better team right now. Flacco's been playing, he's been playing well. Like I said, maybe it's because of, Lamar Jackson's breathing down that man's back. Man, that might be it. So, but I like the Ravens, tomorrow night in the 24-28 game. I think it's going to be, very, very close. A lot of, you're going to see some field goals from like the Steelers. I just don't think, the Steelers offense has all the, they have the firepower. I just don't think, they put it together like that. Then moving on to Monday Night Football, you have the Kansas City Chiefs at the Denver Broncos here. Now, this game, I was thinking about it all week. Ever since I seen it on the schedule, and I was like, okay, the Chiefs are rolling in 3-0, and the Broncos 2-1. I was thinking I was like, well, maybe this is the week the Chiefs want to fall. I was thinking about it a lot, and I was like, you know what? I really don't think so. This morning I was like, man, I'm going to go Kansas City. I'm going to Kansas City here. I think, the Broncos 2-1 record. It's not, the two teams that they beat, it's not really impressive. You beat the Raiders, you beat the, the Seahawks. The team you lost to was the Ravens. I really don't think this is like I think like, that this 2-1 record is very like underachieving. I feel like Kansas City is gonna have too much firepower for them guys. I like the Chiefs 34-23. I think Patrick Mahomes, he keeps it rolling. I don't think he's gonna have a game like how he had like last week, but it's still gonna be solid. But I like the Chiefs in this one, man. 34-23. So just to go over it, I had Eagles, Packers, Cowboys, Bears, Jaguars, Patriots, Colts, Falcons, Seahawks, Browns, Chargers, Saints, Ravens, and Kansas City Chiefs. So hopefully, I bounce back, man. I started off with a win on Thursday night. You guys got a chance to catch that game. Great game between the Rams and the Vikings, man. 38-31. Rams, I picked the Rams in that one. Man, Jared Goff threw for about five touchdowns. Kirk Cousins, on the other hand, his game wasn't so shabby either. I think both teams combined, they had over 1,000 yards offense. A lot of points was put up in that game. And one thing, man, for people, I'm in like a couple of groups on Facebook, and people, they were talking during the game and even after the game, like how Minnesota's defense isn't good and this and that. In this league, man. When it's so offense friendly, man, it's very hard. Your defense is not gonna be shutting down everybody like every single week. Like last week, like this past Thursday, the Rams, they have a good offense. They have a good defense too. The Vikings got a good defense. They got good offense. Like it was a good game overall. Like they couldn't basically, they really couldn't stop each other. It was only a 7-point game. It was only one key stop. The Aaron Donald sack on Cousins pretty much sealed the whole game, pretty much the end of the game. So you're looking at that, man. Both of these teams, man, they're pretty good. And on that note, man, people just need to stop like anointing like players already as being an MVP or teams going to the Super Bowl. We're only in week 4, folks. This is not December. This is the kind of stuff that when I argue with people and we go back and forth and, we have these conversations on this stuff and I'm like, it's no real concern, man. Like, people get on me because I'm a Patriots fan and you guys are 1-2. Well, it's not really a concern. I know what the issue is. The issue is the wide receiver. If you get somebody, somebody else can get open, this team will be fine. But on the flip side, it's only September. The Patriots always stumble out, slow every single year. So it's like, it's not a big deal. People are making it out to be. I feel like, teams are going to be okay. We'll see what teams are going to be the elite teams come around like the end of November going into the December when we're starting to talk, like playoff seeding, wild card races, and that kind of stuff. The NFL is, man, it's played in quarters, man. You get your first 4, your second 4, which will make it 8, then your next 4, which is 12. And then you get your next 4, which will make it, 16. So it's like, you go through your first 4, which is the first month of the season, basically. And it's like, some teams, man, they're just filling out, who they are. They're trying to find their identity. Some teams don't find their identity till like November time anyway. So, as far as like people just anointing teams, like, yeah, the Rams are good, man. The Chiefs are good right now, but wasn't we saying the same thing about the Chiefs like last year around this time, like when they were smoking hot and everybody was putting them in the Super Bowl and everybody was thinking that Kareem Hunt was your MVP and stuff like that, man. Like, things can change throughout the whole season. All I'm saying is that I'm not trying to discredit any team. I'm just trying to say is just we need to just chill out on the anointing. I know a lot of people are talking about Patrick Mahomes being MVP. Yeah, he's playing lights out right now. And he thrown for like 10 touchdowns already or something like that, something crazy. But who's to say by like week 15 that he only has 12 on the season? What I mean? I'm all I'm saying is that we just need to chill out. As the fans, we're really excited. We listen to these analysts, when they talk real high of players, and we really start drinking the Kool-Aid of what's going on, and we want to share the posts of what such and such said on this network about this team and that team, and we want to believe it. But then come like November, December, we're all talking a different tune here. That's all I'm saying. I'm like, it's really too early in the season to really dictate who's going to be the best teams that's coming out of the NFL. Like, right, a lot of people are talking about the Rams. The Rams are good, but you still can't discredit, Philadelphia in the NFC. You can't discredit, New Orleans in the NFC. You can't discredit, I know Atlanta in the NFC, even though we know about Atlanta. But you still can't discredit those guys. You still got Carolina. You still got, a lot of teams, and you still got teams like, hey, the Bears could be well in the mix, and we just don't know. If Aaron Rodgers can get that knee together, what would the Packers be? It's still early for the Giants to figure out who they are, and they always are sneaky. Same thing with the Redskins. You really don't know. The Cowboys the same way. If they can figure out a way to get Zeke 25 to 30 touches, the Cowboys are gonna be fine. It's just like we're just annoying people. And even in the AFC, I know 1-2, but you still got the Patriots. You really can't, count them out. They have to be basically like on their last leg and dead before you can count out the Patriots. I've been telling that people, for the past couple of years, every single time people count these guys out, man, they find a way, to be back in the mix like it's nothing. Same thing, man. You still got the Chargers over there. That's playing pretty well. You got the Ravens playing pretty well. Once Pittsburgh get their act together and all the stuff they got going on over there, the Steelers are going to be in the mix. You got so many teams in both of these conferences that, for us to be here in week 4 now, and we're already anointing, who's going to be the MVP, who's going to be in the Super Bowl, that's just utterly ridiculous. So that's all I really wanted to say on that topic. All I'm saying is just that we just need to, chill out a little bit. I know a lot of people are hyped, and I understand if you're a fan of this team, yeah, your team and your team's hot right now, you're going to be, through the roof. That's explainable. That right there. We already know how that is, But all us other fans will be like, oh yeah, well the Rams look pretty good. Okay, it's week 3, it's week 4. We're fine. Let's see where all these teams are at. End of November, going into December when we're talking about playoffs, seeding, and all that kind of stuff. All right, folks, man, this is it for me today. I just want to talk about my picks for this week. Hopefully I bounce back. It's 23-1, overall in the season so far. Preseason basketball is on. The Lakers, you get to see LeBron in the Lakers jersey officially for the first time on the court tomorrow night, ESPN. So, make sure you guys check that out. I'll be flicking between that and the game tomorrow night. So, I hope I have some insight for you guys. It's been a couple of, like preseason basketball is in high gear. Major League Baseball playoffs get ready to start on Wednesday. Looking forward to that, catching some of that. I always love October, for baseball. I'm not a big baseball guy. Like I can watch it here and there. I'm not like fully engaged into it. But the playoffs, once the playoffs start, I can watch all the games with no problem. Maybe because it's like a lot on the line. Maybe baseball season is a little bit too long for me to really follow every single team, every single game, but when the playoffs are on, I watch them all from, the first inning all the way up to the ninth, every single game of every series. I'm glued in. So I'll be talking about that, once this stuff starts on Wednesday. I'm looking forward to it. Red Sox and Yankees are on day on Fox. That should be a good game. But until next time, you guys, man, just enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Thank you for taking the time listening to my podcast. Like I said, I am on Podbean, Stitcher, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify. I believe that's it. I'm on a few other things. I'm not sure, but thank you guys for tuning in. You follow me on Instagram at JustHub. Follow me on Twitter at JustHub. Follow me on Facebook at Hubs Huddle. What else I have to say? That's pretty much it for me, guys. Just keep rocking with me, man. Like it, share it, send me a review. You know the deal, man. Share it with your other friends, man. You at work, man. Let your coworkers hear it, man. Let them download it as well, man. Keep me rocking, man. Y'all help me grow. I appreciate you guys. Until next time, man. Hubs Huddle is out.